Liverpool, everybody. We are back to discuss the game tomorrow with Wolverhampton. I had to make sure I get that right this time. So I got Gary on the line. Gary, how you feeling, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Yeah. So it continues. Back in Premier League football, of course. Seems like yesterday we played. I guess we played. What was it, Thursday? So game
Leicester.
tomorrow. Yeah, Thursday against Leicester, and game tomorrow. Tomorrow the game is at Anfield. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, tomorrow Sunday at Anfield. Looking forward to it. Obviously, let's get into the match we just saw recently on yesterday, Wolves and City, and crazy game. A lot of controversy. Also, obviously, VAR was involved, and you're really just starting to see how much it tends to slow the game down a bit, and doesn't really look good. And especially when you feel like maybe there's times where the time that it's taken is still not really coming up with a proper decision. So as you watched that game, what were just some of your, I mean, putting the VAR things aside, what were just some of your takeaways, being as though this is the team we're playing next? I guess it's the second team in a row that City have played, and we ended up playing them next. Is that right?
Yeah, Leicester, then obviously.
Yeah, and then I think Sheffield the same thing. But what were some of your takeaways from the game, just I guess from a Wolves point of view?
Well, I thought Wolves were good when they started. They started off really brightly and they got off to a good start. Conor Cody plays a brilliant ball to Jota. He obviously gets sent off, Edison, and they started really well, much better than City 11v11. But since it went 11v10, Wolves just struggled to break City down. They displayed a lack of ideas going forward, lack of creativity, and they just weren't up for it. The crowd looked flat and annoyed because of the VR decisions. So yeah, I mean, it took, well, when it went 2-0, the goal that got them back in the game was probably a blessing in disguise because that lifted the fans up and it really got them going again. And Adama Traore I was having a go at him in about when it went 2-0. I said he's doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
Pops up
same
with a
here.
goal and an assist, and wins them the game. So
Yeah.
I thought they were poor for about 60 minutes, but after that they were fantastic. And obviously City with 10 men, obviously understandable, but when you go down to 10 men, it's supposed to make you a lot more harder to break down. First of all, as a team, you're supposed to be sticking together, sitting deep, and just City just didn't look organised at all. And they can't look organised with 11v11, let alone 10 men. So for
Yeah.
Wolves, and they had to win the game. And I said a draw would have been fine, especially even after going 10 men, after going 2-0 down. But they got the win, and it was just brilliant to see. And it wrapped up the title officially now. If it wasn't even official yet.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it did feel like Wolves almost, in a weird way, felt the pressure when City went down. And I would say pressure to say, in their minds, they're thinking, okay, 11v10, surely, on paper, that means you should be able to beat the team. You have one extra guy. Um, and I don't know if they felt pressure of that or what it was. I mean, it felt like they were in the game, like you said, for a period of time, then fell out of the game. And then obviously in the second half was mostly totally their half. I'm glad you brought up what you brought up about what should have happened with City when they went down to 10 men. And I couldn't help but think a Klopp-led team would have saw that game through. You're 2-0 up. I know you're away from home, but you're pretty much in the driver's seat in that game. And, the goal from Traore, because I was one of the guys who was also saying that, what is he doing in this game? It just didn't seem to be grasping the game in the way that he has been doing lately. And it felt like he was very, very one-dimensional, where he would just try to go to the byline. And Mendy, for a while, I thought was doing pretty good. And then this incredible hawk of a player, after his first strike, which I think really just lifted that team, the fan base, the crowd, and everything in the stadium. He muscles Mendy off the ball, and it's something that I love seeing. One, because it's a City player, and I don't really care for that team, but also it reminded me of what Firmino does so well to guys, and I'm so happy that more times than not the ref allows those kind of things to go on. I guess depending on which ref, because there were examples throughout this weekend of challenges like that that went for penalties or whatever. Harry Kane to name one, but
Mm.
I mean, or maybe that was what's Troy Deeney, I think got a penalty off that, but Yeah, and he just woke up in that game when they really needed him. Now I don't know if you thought this, but when City went 2-0, I was thinking, you know what, Wolverhampton had the Wolves had their moment in this game, and they should have taken it. I just felt like they were going to be on the losing end of this. The only time I thought that they would be able to really get something, not even after their first goal, but it was the second goal, and I thought they actually could go on and take it. Even though that game was ticking towards the end of the game, but yeah, it's just I feel like a situation like that, a manager. I don't know what Pep was doing, what the players were doing. Obviously, they do have a guy named Otamendi defensively, and the more I look at those games, that game and the highlights back, he's clearly just an issue for that defense. And Fernandino, to be honest, I mean his position is obviously a defensive midfielder, so having to have those two guys in central defense isn't good. So it's just good to see a team like Wolves who've gotten a double over them this season just really, really take it to City. And yes, you can bring up the 10 minute whatever, but City were pretty comfortable in that game until they weren't, and Wolves just believed that they could go get it, and they went to go get it. So apart from Traore, when you're watching this Wolves team, and just in general, when you've watched them over the past couple of seasons under this fantastic manager, I think besides Traore, who else in this team? I guess we can particularly talk about the last game or just in general this season. Do you feel like really is a guy that can give opposition teams trouble? Now, asking this question, it's strange to me when I look back and think of it. I think as good as Wolves are and can be and will be under this manager, I personally just don't see any way that they can really. Not that they can't get at us, but I just feel like we can deal with anything that they can bring towards us. I believe our defense is leaps and bounds, obviously, beyond where City is right now. But is there anyone on that team? Is there any way that you see they can get at us? Obviously, there's been talks about how Traore can attack Van Dijk, which is a joke to me. But what's your opinion on that as far as us stopping them, particularly Traore?
Well, we saw Traore against Van Dijk last season in a foot race, didn't we? Van Dijk literally, Traore's electric. He's rapid, isn't he? And as you see, Van Dijk shows his incredible speed, how quick he actually is. He doesn't show it very often, but when he needs to in that situation, he can outpace anyone in world football. He's so quick, so athletic, and you saw what he did against Traore. So I'm not worried about anyone in that team. They're a good team, and they can hurt other teams, but they can't hurt us. I mean, no one is at this minute. They can't come close to hurting us. And you're going to see that tomorrow. As I said, they've got brilliant players: Matinho, Neves, what's his name, Traore, Jimenez, Jota. Good players, but not enough threat for us to be scared and wary of.
Yeah.
They're a good team, but again, they've had 1 day rest. So they're going to be really, really tired. And we've had that extra 24 hours as well, which is going to be massive for us. So I'm expecting them to maybe make a few changes. Do you know what I mean? Because they've gone hard for it. That's why I loved how we had the second game. I didn't want us to be playing Wolves first because then they'd be going into City, knackered, and us more fresh. So it's the opposite way around, which is better for us. So it's they're going to be coming in, give it all against City, and then just come and lose against us. That's the perfect scenario, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, I'm not really worried about tomorrow's game. I'm looking forward to it definitely, but I'm not worried about what Wolves can sort of in any ways that Wolves can be a threat to us. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really lovely to sit back now and see City fans finding clips of them before the game at Molineux saying things like this conspiracy with the league and then making the schedule the way they make it, and it's more or less an easy route for us. They're pretty much setting up the teams to fall when they play us because, as I mentioned before, that'll be 3 games in a row. That City had played the team first, and then I guess what they're basically saying is they've beaten them down so much. Obviously not in the Wolves game. They've beaten them down so much that it's making it really easy for us. It's just really lovely to sit back and hear that instead of just congratulating this team for dominating football right now. There's always these different excuses. So, yeah, Nuno spoke about it. He's prepared and not prepared, I should say, not yet, but he's trying to get his team back focused and ready again. And I think a game like that takes so much out of you. Even though they're playing against a team 1 down, Wolves worked so hard in the game to just get back in the game. And City are a good team, so anytime you're playing them with the players that they have, you're going to be well rested, or I should say not rested. You're going to be well run in that game throughout that course of the game. So yeah, not that much time for them to kind of switch back and turn over and get ready for us, and that can only be a good thing. I just think what we saw from Leicester is what we've been wanting a lot of the season, even though we've been getting through games, and that's just waiting for Liverpool to really just blow teams away. And I really just see Wolves in for a beating tomorrow as well. I don't know if it's going to be just like Leicester. I don't think it needs to be. 3 points is all that matters at this point. But I feel like we're going to start seeing Liverpool really, really just blast teams, and it's really it's it's incredible to see where Klopp has his team, because if I'm right in what I'm saying, then he's really, really conditioned his team perfectly, because you can say we kind of have been out of the block slow, so to speak. And if we can, around this time, January, February, if this is what we're going to get, I mean, it's just incredible right now to see how the team is just so in sync right now. So, yeah, I mean, I do think that Wolves were impressive in periods of that game. There were some other parts where they were quite frustrating, but they are a good team. I mean, back to front, you think about the players that they have. They're a really, really good team. He has them playing really, really well, and everything from their captain forward, from Cody, all the way through the midfield and in the front of the lineup, really, really good. But I just think coming up against us is going to be a tall task for them. And he was talking about Van Dijk versus Traore. I'm really excited to see Robertson match up against him. I think Robertson probably watched that game and is probably looking at his chops, and more of a, not a disrespect to Troy, but just thinking, okay, here's another supposed tough test. And I think our players are always looking for really good tests and testing themselves against the best teams and the best players. Mm-hmm. And right now, Traore is in good form. So Robertson has gone against so many great wingers, let alone the Premier League in Europe. And so he's very much so battle tested. But that's the matchup that I'm really, really looking for. And I think that has to be the guy that is their more or less target man right now, because of his form, because of how he can clearly change a game. He clearly loves to play against City. He'll be up for this game, and the whole team will. But I think Traore is a guy that will be their target man. So watching him against Robertson will be good. Obviously, Henderson had a bit of a knock the other day, and I guess the good thing that we took away from that was that he didn't go down the tunnel. It didn't really seem like there was anything too serious. He was kind of just chilling on the bench with some ice. So I expect him to be ready to play. I'm not sure if we talked about. We probably did give like score predictions, I guess, for Watford. Maybe it was not Watford, for Wolves, or maybe it was just Leicester. But how do you see? Do you see pretty much the same team that lined up against Leicester? Or do you think Klopp will find a way to maybe get one or two of those guys some rest and maybe come off the bench if we need them?
Yeah, like I said in the post-match Leicester show, I said that you never know Klopp nowadays, do you? In any game that we can rotate, that we can find a way to rotate, he will do it. And I'm looking at this game and thinking, can we make more than maybe 3 changes? I mean, look at the goalkeeper. He's obviously going to play. The defenders, they're going to play. Centre-back and the centre-back's going to play. Robertson's definitely going to play. Alexander-Arnold, he's going to play. And I think these sort of players will play, because you haven't got a centre back to like switch Gomez to the right if you want to, and you know what I mean. So they're going to throw that back 5 set. In midfield now, what have we got? What options have we got? Lallana, Keita, Henderson, Milner, and Wijnaldum.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a game where Lallana can come into? I wouldn't be surprised. Let's just say that. I would not be surprised, to say the least. Yeah. Especially with this big points gap that we have now. So the pressure's sort of off now. But I think Klopp was going to keep on going. I don't think he'll play Lallana. I think James Milner will play this game. And I think he'll maybe rest Henderson. I would leave Henderson, especially after that knock. Give him a rest. Give him a rest and let him back in for Sheffield United. Rest him up for this game, because you have to remember we can also rest for. We can also have a rest for the Everton game in the FA Cup, where we're going to be playing a lot of young players, and sort of the players that don't really get too many minutes, like Shaqiri, Origi, they're going to be coming in. It could be a situation where Shaqiri comes in a 4-2-1. But in my opinion, I'd like to see that against Sheffield United at home, against Sheffield United on next Thursday. That's where I'd like to see that. And more, I'd rather go for a 4-3-3 in this game than play him against Sheffield United. but they're both similar teams, so I wouldn't be surprised because they were 3-4-3 teams, 3-5-2, those sort of that sort of formation. So we're coming up against two similar teams in terms of formation and the way they play, in Wolves and Sheffield. So it's interesting, man. Origi, if he has a chance of starting as well. He has a chance of starting because we might look to rest Salah maybe or Firmino. So there's so many options.
Hmm.
Not as many options as we'd like with Chamberlain and those sort of players, but there is a few options where we can rest. But I can't see us making, a wholesale changes.
Wholesale, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I just don't see us having enough players due to the injury.
Yeah, Firmino's in some scintillating form right now. I can't really see him sitting him. Although, again, with Klopp, you never know. And if there was a situation where I see a Origi on a team sheet, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. And I honestly really wouldn't mind it. The shot you given for Shaqiri has me thinking now, though. But I also do agree that it might be better fit to have him in the game against Sheffield United. Again, we still have a lot of games to go, and so Klopp has to be smart with who he's resting, who he's rotating. So yeah, the front three. I think I'd like to see that front three again. Obviously, again, I wouldn't be surprised if it's something different, but definitely want to see that, especially with Firmino being in the form that he is now. The midfield is where I'm a little unsure on. Naby's been playing a lot. He's been in good form, and it's simply a situation where I just wonder if Klopp is thinking, let me hold him back this game. It's been pretty consistent. Let me hold him back. Maybe bring him on if we need him. Or do I start him, give it an hour, and get him off? So that means, yeah, maybe there's a Lallana that gets in there. Maybe there's a Milner. You just never know. I'm just really pleased that it looks like Henderson's knock wasn't too major, and obviously Genie is back. Hopefully there's no long-lasting, I don't know, issues with those knocks, both of those guys. Yeah, the midfield will be interesting. I think the way Wolves play, with the three obviously, and then their wingers bombing forward, and then the two in the midfield, whether it be Matinho and Neves, whoever it is, they're kind of deep as well. So it keeps the center of their formation very compact, and they try to force you to go outside, which is what Liverpool do very happily. So I feel like this again is another game for our fullbacks to really shine, and get in around that defense and make it harder. And once that's something that we can get at Wolves with, then naturally the center of their defense will open up. They'll be forced to, and then we'll have Firmino having to field it, whoever it is that's popping up in the middle, whether it be Mane, Salah, whoever, or maybe even somebody running from deep in the midfield. So I just think that anytime these teams that we go up against that play this three, we usually get a bit of joy. I think Sheffield United play a three at the back, and obviously that was a bit tighter game. But obviously the way they play is far different, in my opinion, to Wolves. So. But no, yeah, this should be a really interesting clash, man. I'm excited about it. It's just good to be facing another team that I think should be considered as one of the. I mean, it's just performance and it's the season in general. When I watch them, each time I watch them, the eye test, I just feel like they're at least top 4 or 5 teams in this league. They don't lose a bunch. Yes, they draw a bunch of games, but they find ways to stay in games. And sometimes they're on they're losing end, obviously, but more times than not, they're drawing games, they're getting wins. So really good team, really hungry. And again, what he's done with this team, bringing them back up and playing this kind of football on the verge of getting top 4 in that top 5 area, it's really impressive. But again, they're playing Liverpool, and I think it's impressive as they've been. Obviously, they've been on a big high, beating the City team. I just don't. Again, I said this before the Leicester game, and all due respect to both of these clubs, but I just don't see how Wolves are going to attack us, especially if they are putting everything on Traore to make a difference. I don't. There was a time where you could see a Jamie Vardy or a Aguero, a one man guy, kind of wrecking, causing havoc against this Liverpool team. But those days have been behind us for quite a while now. So I really look to us to really assert ourselves early in the game. Being at Anfield is obviously another bonus. So that should be cool. It should be a bouncing. What's the time? What's the time there in the UK? What game? What time's the game?
Half 4, so it'll be
half 4.
12:30 for you.
Okay, yeah, great. So there's no excuse for people the stadium not to be rocking, and that aspect of the game to be high. So yeah, looking forward to it. As you said, it does appear. I mean, I think you and I and some others that we talked to felt like the league was pretty much over anyway. But it does feel like that was kind of the nail in the coffin. Even a draw, I guess, would have been better for them. But I heard Pep, and he was pretty much saying at this point, it's about catching Leicester, and
Mm.
that's very very true. Leicester, I believe, won today against was it West Ham?
Yeah, 2-1 win away at West Ham with 9 changes in their team. Only
Was
Evans
it
and
nine changes? Wow.
change. I mean, he played literally all the second basically the second team apart from Evans and what's his name?
Soyuncu?
Evans. No, Evans and Schmeichel. He even rested Soyuncu.
Oh wow. I didn't know they had the deep enough
And
squad to do that.
Pellegrini got sacked.
He did.
Yeah, straight after the game.
Oh wow, damn. Yeah, it's been a lot of seconds this season, man. The crazy thing is that obviously we don't like the
There should
blue
be some
side.
more.
There should be, and there probably will be, but I got to big up Watford. I got to big up the blue side of Liverpool. And it just shows how much that new manager bounce could be. It's not always the case, but you see what Watford is doing right now,
Yeah.
and also with the Carlo Ancelotti at Everton. So it's nice to see that a manager can come in and really really lift up a team. But yeah, Leicester. I got to look at the highlights. I know
Oh,
Gray scored and Nacho. What you say?
yeah, exactly. So I mean, this is the thing now. Leicester, that was a massive win for them. A
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
big win for them because if you're coming up, 1 point out of the last 9 with draw to Norwich, lost to City, lost to Liverpool. You're going into 2 away games against West Ham and West Ham and Newcastle. You need that, and now that's sort of it's sort of given them a bit of a breathing space, especially with Spurs dropping points as well. So their next game is they got a nice run of games. Their next their next game is Newcastle away, which I expect them to probably win that again.
Mm-hmm.
Then they got Southampton at home, Burnley away, and then West Ham at home. So again, you can't see them dropping in
Yeah.
those sort of games. You never know, but you can't see them dropping. And I think they will definitely get top 4 this season. Still
Oh
very
yeah.
it's still very early because you never know what can happen in this Premier League. But it's just I don't see anyone catching them. They've got too big of a gap and they're too good of a team to let that sort of lead slip. Um, but yeah, I mean it's been such a awful league this season. I mean
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho got sacked. I think he had a better total points tally than Oli at this sort of stage, but he was about
Mm,
8 points off top 4, and
yeah.
Oli's got a worse points total than Mourinho, and he's 1 point off top 4. Do you know what I mean? So it just shows that
Oh, they beat Burnley.
yeah, they beat Burnley
Okay.
2-0 away. So as I said, it just shows the amount of poor teams in this league. You look at it, you think Arsenal 12th place, Arsenal's in 12th place, Arsenal Football Club we're about to head in January, they're in 12th place. Um, Everton underperforming. You know, who else? You got Spurs 30 points in 20 games. So they've got 30
Yeah.
points out of 60 games. United's got 31 points, 32 points of Chelsea. And you look at that, you look at it right now. If they still continue the same form that they've been in for the first half of the season, they're gonna get about 60 to 65 points if they follow this sort of form up. 60 to 65 points for a season, for a Premier League season, for a team
Mm.
for teams that's supposed to be challenging for the top 4. I mean, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, I think the three positions are set. Leicester. I mean, Leicester's gone up, gone. Leicester's kept the place, haven't they? They're second place
Yeah.
because Wolves City lost to Wolves, so that's funny to see. But yeah, look at Arsenal, 52 points with a game in hand. It's incredible. We're 10 points clear of Leicester, with 2 games in hand over
Yeah.
them. So
It's crazy. It's that Leicester can lose back-to-back games and still be above City by I think 4 points or something like that. It's crazy. Um,
yeah,
and the fact that United are pushing for top 4. This league is really crazy. It's almost like some of these teams just don't want to get top 4. I would have thought that with Chelsea losing they where they are and just totally self-destructing, it looks like that Josie would have been had them in top 4, but then they keep dropping points. So it's a weird old league, man, and that fourth spot is a mystery to me. Obviously, like I said, Liverpool, City. I mean, I can't see City dropping out of the top 4, but damn, that's possible as well, I guess. But
yeah. Well, what the
that what you say?
no, sorry, continue.
Yeah, that last four spot, that fourth spot, I should say, it's hard to really tell
It's
who's
up
going
for
to get
grabs,
there. Is
yeah.
it going to be Chelsea? Is it going to be United, Tottenham, Wolves? I mean, who can it be?
I mean, if it's funny to think that if Arsenal beat Chelsea tomorrow, they're only 5 points off top 4 themselves.
Which you know what? Part of me, Gary, I think Arsenal's going to win tomorrow. I really do.
Mm.
I don't know why, but I have a feeling they're going to. Chelsea just, I don't know what's going on with them, man. They had a nice little run, and honestly, we played them in the Super Cup, we played them in the league, and I started thinking, this team could be really good this season. I didn't think it'd be a title challenge or anything like that, but I thought they'd be really, and they are decent,
I
but
mean, they won in about 7 wins in a row, didn't they? In all competitions, and six wins in a row in the Premier
they
League.
started off so good, man, and they gave us two really tough games. Let's not forget that. But since then they've kind of fallen off for one reason or another. Look, they are a young team, and that probably something that may have caught up with them. I don't know. January is coming. Be interesting to see who they go for. I'm sure they'll go for somebody. But
Lose,
yeah, like I said, the top four
lose,
is
yeah, the top four's up for grabs. But losing to Southampton at home, Burnley at home, and West Ham at home in the space of
yeah,
three,
it's crazy.
it's crazy to think.
It's crazy.
And being nils, I mean, Southampton, Chelsea nil, Southampton 2, Chelsea nil, Bournemouth 1, Chelsea nil, West Ham 1. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All not scoring. So the only team they beat is Aston Villa in that period, and Aston Villa are just shocking themselves, aren't they? They got battered 3-0 by Watford away today. So
Yeah, it's a weird league, man.
very,
And again, that'll be something that people will bring up, of course. Um, I've heard people even comparing it to the Leicester season, and we're going to win it basically because it's a weak league. I'll take it either way. I'm not really concerned with the reasons or why people think we won it. The thing is, we're so good in leaps and bounds, and maybe teams are thinking, you know what, let's just try to fight for other trophies. But that doesn't take anything away from Liverpool. We're that dominant that people are sitting back and saying, yeah, it's a weak league, So
it's a weak league. It's not. It's a weak league that's being dominated by the greatest team in football.
yeah,
And the teams are. I mean, I can go through the 20 teams here. Liverpool are doing. They're doing well. Leicester doing well. City obviously not doing well. Chelsea, it's probably what I mean. If you see it and say the start of the season, Chelsea are in the top four. Christmas, you think, wow,
yeah,
Frank Lampard did an incredible job, but because of that sort of fall down, you think wow. But United obviously underachieving, Tottenham underachieving, Wolves having a brilliant season, Sheffield having a brilliant season, Palace having a brilliant season, Everton poor season, Newcastle
yeah.
brilliant
Palace,
season.
how about that? Jesus.
Yeah, I mean Everton poor, Newcastle being great, couple of losses now, but still being great. Arsenal obviously being poor. I think Brighton they play some brilliant football.
Yeah,
Southampton.
they do. They're under the radar. They do play some good football, man.
So Southampton, they're a decent counter-attacking team, but the likes of Norwich, they play they play nice football, but just it's not good enough. Watford
Yeah,
up against now, Villa just absolutely horrendous to watch. I mean, if they can continue celebrating against our under-18 kids, that should be the least of their priorities now going for an EFL Cup.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, there's been poor teams in this league, but at the same time, there's been teams that have sort of outplayed and outshined these sort of
yep.
so-called top teams. Wolves, Sheffield, Palace,
Yep.
they're below them in the table, but they shouldn't be this close based on the quality that these teams have had and
And the
the
money that they have.
money they spend. So,
Yeah.
it's about us now, isn't it? I mean, the pressure's off now. What you said there was brilliant. That the pressure's off now, and you said I don't think there was any pressure in this team. Anyway, you can see it throughout the season, but we're gonna start. The shackles are going to be off now because we're going to start, smashing teams left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
Because that big lead, that big point gap, we're just going to go for it and absolutely obliterate teams. And I think that was a great point by you that we're just, we're going to be set free now by all these losses from that City having, and we're going to absolutely, destroy a lot of teams in the second half of the season. A lot.
It just seems like it's shaping up that way, man.
I just
It
don't
just
see,
looks like
I don't see more 2-1 results anymore. I see more of the 4
right.
nils.
Yep. Yep. And that's the thing. The fact that our defense is, we've started to miss, I guess, the feeling of getting clean sheets, and all of a sudden we're back to getting clean sheets. And getting clean sheets, it's not even like teams are getting a bunch of chances and they're getting unlucky. They're getting some chances, and yes, the keeper has had to step up a couple games, but the defense just looks so much cleaner now, especially over the most recent performance. So, yeah, I just want to have a little bit of fun and ask you, looking at some of these teams, looking at some of these relegated sides,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm happy with our squad. I'm sure you are as well. I'm not really thinking about buying new players, especially when we get Milamino in, but just curious to think over the course of the season, some of the teams that are in kind of that lower
Yeah.
echelon, the bottom three. Is there any players that stand out to you, maybe from Norwich, from
So
whoever?
Like the Shaqiri Ronaldo deals, you mean? The cut price.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Is there anybody out there that you think Edwards might be looking at, or that you're looking at, and you thinking that you know what, under Klopp, this guy could be really good? Anybody from any team?
Yeah, I mean, looking at Norwich, I've always liked the way Norwich play. I like the right back. Um,
Yeah.
not James, I'm talking about
Aaron,
Max Aarons.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, his middle name was James, and that's what I thought.
All
Uh,
right.
Max Aarons, I
Mhm.
think he'd be a fantastic player for us as a backup right back. But would he want to come as a backup right back? That's the whole question because Alexander was going to be here for years and years, isn't he? So
Yep. He's
that's
still
that's
so young too, so that would be difficult. But
the question. Um, they got a few good players. Norwich. You look at that Todd Cantwell, he's quite a good player as well, isn't he?
hmm hmm
That left back Jamal Lewis. I know he has been playing recently, but he's still young. He's quite a good player. And then moving on to maybe I don't know. I don't think Watford are going to get relegated personally. Um, I don't think they'll get relegated, but they've got good players as well. Watford they shouldn't be in a position to get relegated. But if they did get relegated, you look at the team and you think in their defense, nothing I'm really too keen on. I think Decore is a good player. He's sort of a Yaya Toure sort of player, isn't he? Just getting into the box and getting goals. Uh,
hmm
that front line, I think Sarr. I think he started kicking up now, hasn't he? Sarr getting
Yeah.
I always liked him at Reds anyway. I remember he
hmm
tore Arsenal apart, and he's still 21 years old. So maybe he could. I think if they got relegated, I think he'd be a player that we could realistically go and get. Villa now. Aston Villa. Mm,
I
John,
like yeah, same guy I was gonna say.
yeah, John McGinn. I think he's a good player, isn't he? But
Yeah.
he's been injured now. He got a really bad injury.
Oh, I didn't know
Um,
that. Okay.
so he got some
What's
really
that
bad.
guy Houlihan or whatever? I might have said his name wrong. He's kind of
The
decent too.
Irish one in there, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
midfielder. He's got some
Yeah,
great free kicks as well, isn't
yeah, he's decent too.
he? He's decent.
Um,
But I think Grealish will definitely be off this summer. Whether even if they get relegated, they stay up. I
you
think
think
he.
so? Okay.
Yeah, he won't stay in the Championship. He doesn't. I think he's definitely a Premier League standard player anyway, Jerry Grealish. So I
Yeah.
think he'll be off. Whether that's the Tottenham or someone like that, I'm not too sure if Mourinho wants him. I know Pochettino wanted him, but I don't know if Mourinho want him. That's going to be interesting. I mean, Bournemouth now they're in a really, really bad position.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got that win away at Stamford Bridge and got a point against Arsenal, but
I
apart
know it's a funny team, man. It's a funny team.
so and they've got some decent players, very good
Yep.
players. I like a few like Ryan Fraser. I think he's going to be off this summer anyway, isn't he?
Yeah.
Um,
But
you
there's
look
some
at that.
good forward guys that I'm curious about, and the whole thing. Look, it's not my choice to make, and I'm not running Liverpool, but it would be interesting to see because when you're playing week in week out at Bournemouth, and you come to a team like Liverpool, you know that your minutes aren't going to be as much. But some of their forward guys whose names right now can come to my mind for whatever reason.
Dominic Solanke,
Yeah, no, no.
27 appearances in the Premier League, 0 goals for Bournemouth.
Oh god, yeah. They got some attacking dudes. Obviously, Frazier. They
Wilson,
look really
King.
good. Yeah, Wilson. Yeah, Wilson King. They still got that guy Stanislas. Is he still
Yeah. I
there?
mean, he made his first Premier League start in about a year here and today.
Oh damn.
He was
We
injured.
got to shout out. Our boy. Of course, is Danny Ings. Double digits in the
I
Premier League
was
this year.
I think you say Harry Wilson.
No. Danny Ings has been
Yeah.
impressive. Now, a lot of his goals have
Oh,
been kind of poacher goals or right place, right time, but still, he's getting the goals. And I think what happened with him at Liverpool was unfortunate with his injuries.
yeah.
To see him just healthy, I'm happy to see that.
Because he
I've never
kicked
been
on.
a big
Remember,
fan,
he
but
was getting, when he first came to Liverpool, he was getting a few goals, wasn't he? And then
yeah,
he got
yeah.
injury. Then because him and Gomez got the injury when Klopp got when it was literally the last game where they played, which was I remember Everton away, and then the next game we had was obviously Spurs away. They got injured between that international period. Both of them, Ings and Gomez, they got long-term injuries, and it just never happened for him. He did it, But I mean, last year he got 7 goals, 7 league goals in 24 appearances. This year he's played all 20 games in the Premier League and scored 12 goals, the same as Rashford, and the likes of Aubameyang. I mean, scored another goal today. It's incredible to see. I mean, he was always a good Premier League striker. I don't think he was good enough for us. But and he also had those injuries, which hampered him. But he was always a great Premier League striker. And he's showing that at Southampton now. His goals have kept Southampton going and above that relegation zone. So, yeah, but I think there's good players in and around here, but I think we need to step up a bit more in terms of quality this summer. Um, And
So you're thinking what bigger names?
I'm just thinking, we've got the likes of, but you look at it, you think bigger names. Was Ronaldo a big name when he came in? You know what I mean? And look at him now.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the thing.
I
And
can't.
I just feel like Klopp is just. I mean, the biggest name we have under Klopp, Van Dijk,
Mhm.
Salah, maybe. But I mean,
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know, the cliche, as cliche as it sounds, is true. He's more inclined to make these superstars than it is buying
Even
them.
Salah. I
So
mean, when Salah came, there was still question marks over him. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, and when I thought, well, I'll be honest. I'll be totally honest here. When we first got linked to Salah, I was like, I remember seeing him play. I just didn't. I thought, you know what? I don't know, Salah, because I remember a
yeah.
game. It was away at Real Madrid. I don't know if you remember this. He played a game away at Real Madrid for Roma, and he missed about 3 or 4 chances away at the Bernabeu. You
Which
know,
he still does for us from time
which
to
is
time.
still,
So
yeah, which he still does for us, of course he
yeah.
does. And I was thinking, you know what? When I first, I don't know why, but that game just straight away when we like, oh, Liverpool want Salah, that was the first thought in my mind. Like, I'm not sure, man.
Mm,
But that was
mm,
the point where I was still doubting Klopp in terms of his transfers, which
hmm.
obviously right now, if he can go sign, I don't know, he can go and sign Nathan Redmond, and I probably wouldn't complain. So,
Well, that's
I,
the thing. Like he's been so consistent, him and Edwards, that now I don't care if I've never heard of the dude or what, or he was a bust somewhere else. If Liverpool get him, I'm just gonna expect him to be good. Maybe not world class, but be good in our system, which is good because he's shown us time and time again that no matter what we think, I mean, he's gotten players that no one would have thought would have been doing anything, and they're doing well. Wow, Danny Ainge is second in the league for goals. Crazy.
yeah. So I'm just sort of in the summer. I'm like, you know what? I think we need 2 or 3 signings. At
Yeah,
least about 2 or 3 signings. I think Jadon Sancho, I think, would be high on my list.
that would be
Um,
good. That would be good.
Fullback maybe.
Mm.
Um,
Definitely a fullback. That's got to happen. No more
yeah,
Milner and Gomez. Yeah,
sort of on.
I think to get the best out of Gomez, we have to really. I don't know if Klopp will ever do this, but we got to really just keep him in his preferred position for as long as we can, and that means getting in reinforcement. Now, if he has to play it because Trent's out, Robertson's out, Milner's out, our reinforcements that we may get is okay, fine. But he's got to be the last resort. I don't really want to see Gomez playing fullback unless he actually absolutely has to.
Yeah, that's why I like someone like Max Aarons. I think he's a good player. And
Yeah,
I think if Norwich get, oh, well, when Norwich get relegated, I think, but if I was him, I'd be like, Liverpool's a great club, but it's not a position where he'd get a lot of game time.
yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only thing.
That's
When you
what
come
I'm
from a
saying.
team playing every week, it's gonna be.
Yes, just
But
and
again, that's something that we got to just put in the team's hand. But yes, as when we sitting here talking about it, thinking about it, it does seem like it'd be a stretch. What I'm curious about is what happened to the kid that went to Spurs over the summer. Is he hurt? The guy that used to play at
Sessegnon,
who?
Sessegnon.
Yeah, is he hurt?
Well, he got injured. He was injured for the first 3 or 4 months, but he
Oh,
started.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
He started the last 2 Premier League games.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Hmm
Okay.
So
I didn't know he was back.
yeah,
Because
but the thing,
that was the guy who I was thinking about for a while until they got him. But yeah.
yeah, the problem was that he was a Liverpool fan when growing up, but he wanted to stay in London with his family or something like that.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah, I
went to.
get that. That's a position that I feel like I need to start watching more, just across Europe, La Liga, Syria, to look at different fullbacks that we might could be in. Because that for me, that is definitely a position that we really need
Yeah, I remember
to get.
that Junior Firpo guy in the summer, and he ended up going to Boston.
Mm,
I don't know. Obviously, there probably wasn't any truth in that, but I just think that we need a. I'd rather right-sided fullback than left-sided because
yeah.
Milner is better. Weirdly, he's better on the left than he's on the right.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously, think that with him being right-footed, he'd be better than right, but he's actually better on the left. So I'd go for a right-sided fullback. But whoever comes in is so hard to just sort of
I
replicate
mean,
what you do, isn't it?
I don't know how many there are out these days, but again, I'll leave it up to Edwards because he knows if anybody knows.
Hmm
If we could get blessed and just get a dude that can is both footed, strong, because ideally, I think that'll give you the most time to play because I think reason why Robertson plays so much is because we really don't have a. Yes, you could put Milner there, but it's an easier transition to put, or maybe not easier, but I think maybe better to put
Yeah.
Gomez at right back than Milner at left. So if we can get a guy that can play both sides and that can just come in when they need rest or rotation, that would be ideal. But that's probably a shot in the dark. You know, it's hard to
When,
really find a
when you
guy
talk
these days.
about, yeah, when you're talking about both sides, you're ideally talking about a right foot player because obviously left foot players don't play at the right back, do they? So
Right, right.
It's more of a right foot, a right back that can play on on that left side. I mean, so we have to be looking at definitely in the summer to improve on. Definitely a forward player, midfield. I'm looking at. I'm thinking obviously Milner signed a new contract, so he'll be there. Lallana's going to be off in the summer. Klein's going to be off. So Lallana, Klein, they'll be off. Maybe Lovren will be off. Maybe if Lovren's going, which it looks like he will be going, he is a fantastic fourth choice centre back.
Yep.
Absolutely brilliant. But
He get some good money for him too, I think, Lovren.
yeah, and I think we need to be. I think he'll be gone in the summer, and we need a. He'll be gone in the summer. We're going to need a centre back. We are definitely going to need a centre back in the summer because
Yeah, yeah.
we need obviously to replace Dejan Lovren, and we need to buy a good viable replacement that can back up, that can be a good backup to Matip, Gomez, and obviously he can be the fourth choice in the back, and obviously pushing his way into the team like Lovren did. So there's no reason if you're performing well, anyone can be in the team. Um, and that's what I like about Klopp. Who if you're training well, performing well, he keeps you in the team and he gives you a chance. Just like Shaqiri got a chance last year. All these players have got their chances in the team, and if they've been playing well, they've had their chance, and they've been consistently been in the team. If you're not, you're not in the team. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just think that we need to make I'd go for a fullback, a centre back if Lovren leaves, which I think he will. A forward player. Don't know about midfielder because obviously I said Lallana's leaving. We've already got seven midfielders, including Lallana, eight now, and eight now with Minamino. And when Lallana leaves, it'll be seven. Do we? That's seven. Grujic now. I don't know. This is a debate. What do we do with Marco Grujic? In my opinion,
Mm,
I would sell him if I'm honest with you, or I'll try to use him in a swap deal with Dortmund for Sancho because I think he's a sort of player that Dortmund would probably like, with him
mm,
having
mm.
experience in the Bundesliga. I think he's a good player, but and I know how much he wants to play for Liverpool, but at the same time, I really want to play for Liverpool as well. I'm putting that shirt. You know what I mean? So that's not really something I'm interested in. I'm just interested in if he's good enough. I think he's a good player, but the level, man, is just the levels are so high nowadays, very very high now. And is he at that level but does he want to stay here as well? Does he want to stay at a team that way he's not going to get a lot of minutes? Because I don't think he'll get a lot of minutes personally.
Mm.
If I'm honest with you, if he stays, I wouldn't be against it. But there's gonna be eight midfielders in that team. And I think Keita, Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum, even Minamino when he starts performing, Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think they're all going to be ahead of him. You know what I mean? So you're looking at someone that's going to be really down the pecking order when you first come. But at the same time, as I said, if you perform, you play in the team. So I'm not sure. I think, but we're going to get a lot of money from sales this summer. Lallana's going to be
Yep.
off. Lallana and Klein are going to be off with their wages. They're going to be off. You're looking at maybe people saying 25 million for Harry Wilson. I'm more looking at 30 if I'm honest with you. I'm looking at a player that scored about six Premier League goals already this season, performed in the Championship. If we sold Solanke for 19, I would definitely go and sell Harry Wilson for 30.
Not only
Uh,
that, people forget how important a guy like that can be. A game is tight. Bring a guy like that's so lethal at set pieces. Yeah, I think definitely 25, but I can see 32, 35 as well, or 32. Sorry, 28 to 30 as well.
yeah, so what is it? 28 to, yeah, 28 to 30, exactly. So I think that's fair enough for a player of that quality. And he's probably looking at him again about 10 Premier League goals this year. You know what I mean? I think that's a brilliant sort of number for a wide player. Um, And yeah, I mean that's about 25, 30 there. Grujic,
Yeah.
if you sell him for about 25, I think you could definitely get about 25 from Grujic. That's about 50 million right there. Yeah, I mean, so there's half your fund maybe towards a Jadon Sancho or something, and there's probably loads of players I'm not maybe thinking of that we're going to be shipping off. So
Hmm.
this is a question: Will Shaqiri leave in the summer? Um,
Yeah, yeah. I'll say this. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. And I love Shakiri for this team, especially seeing that he's back fit and when he's been playing recently, he's been really, really good. And he's been one of those that you can just pop in and do a job. As simple as that. And that's what we all thought he would do. The positive is, sure, we lose him. That's an open spot, but that means we'd be really eager to be looking for another attacking player. Which
we
again, with this team, they're going to bring in somebody good. Go ahead.
if we sell Shaqiri and Wilson, I mean that opens the door for Jadon Sancho. It has to
Yeah,
open the
yeah.
door.
Clearly, clearly.
And with Grujic, if Grujic, that's about. I think that's you're looking at about 70 to 75 million of funds there.
Yeah, at
person.
least I think at
And
least.
you,
Yeah.
and you add obviously the wages of Klein and Lallana and all those things leaving and so much money coming in. You're looking at just from player sales. You're looking at a lot of about 75% of 3/4 of the fee for Sancho. Um, and say for example Wilson leaves and we go and get Sancho, why would Shaqiri stay? He's a backup to Mohamed Salah and he's barely getting minutes. So why would he stay to be a backup to Sancho, third choice winger at the age he is? So it's not going to happen. So I think if you go and get someone like a Sancho, he's going to be off in the summer. But Sancho would be such an incredible signing. Honestly, he'd be one of those big names, exciting signings for us. He's young, English. He can improve. He's 20 years old, man. He's been on fire this season, even though he's been treated very poorly by Dortmund. He's still banging in goals for them. So, yeah, I think he's about.
Well, it's good to hear that instead of what I usually hear is that he has an attitude problem. So it's nice to hear somebody else say the actual truth about his treatment at Dortmund.
Yeah, I mean, there's no such thing as an attitude problem when he scored 8 goals in his. I think he scored about 10 goals. He scored in 8 games in a row in all
Mm,
competitions.
mm.
He's got 8 goals in the Bundesliga in 13 games as a wide player, which is brilliant. I think he's being treated very poorly by Dortmund. I think he's getting shoved out the door because Dortmund want to get money now and they want to cash in on him. Um, he's substituting him 35 minutes in away at Dortmund because apparently 1-0, he hasn't got injury, but he's substituting him. Not even a half time, but 35 minutes in the first half. 1-0 down away at Bayern, sorry. Substituting him. When Bayern literally smack up Dortmund every single year when they go to the Allianz. It's not, you can't substitute a 19, 20-year-old 35 minutes in and say, he wasn't working hard enough or this or that. He's just made to look like a scapegoat. And I think I remember when he scored away at the new camp. He came on and hit the bar and scored a goal. Someone he said, very unlucky. He put a tweet out basically, and someone said, "Oh, some Dortmund fan said, oh, you have an attitude problem. You're not working hard and all this stuff." And Sancho literally tried and said, I think I'm doing well and I think I'm working hard, but obviously that's your opinion. Let's move on and get 3 points on the thing. So I think he's a good kid. I think he's a very good guy as well. Very hungry about his football, very, very passionate, and you can see the decision, and you can see that he cares about playing football because if he didn't care, he would have stayed at Manchester City, and be on the bench for Pep Guardiola, getting a few minutes like Phil Foden does. But he went to Dortmund, developed, and now he's one of the best youngsters in world football, probably the best if you look at the minute. So he's my dream signing at the minute, my dream signing in the summer, and I hope we can make it happen because I think Klopp loves him as well. Because he said that we were looking at him at Manchester City and said that we couldn't sign it because obviously the City wouldn't sell to us. So you could definitely see that we are interested in him. But I don't know if 130 million we won't pay, but would we pay 100 million? I'm just not sure at the minute.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I mean, we've paid
He's
upwards to that, close to that, but
he's worth it.
I think it's definitely worth it. And I think that is more than just a little bit of truth to the interest in them. It's just really about them pulling the trigger. I think at this point and find out exactly what that clause is going to. I mean, not clause. What that price is going to be. And sure, they'll be monitoring him. And if there is some attitude issue, then I best believe, if that's even true, Klopp won't have him. So we'll see what happens behind the scenes. I think whoever we get, I'll be excited about it. I just think, as we've said before, they've consistently brought in dudes that were good. I'm looking to see when the first game Millamino is going to play. I just can't wait to see how we use him, how he looks. You think it'll be Everton? Yeah.
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 So that we're talking about next Sunday, then, aren't we?
Is that the game next Sunday, Everton?
Yeah, next Sunday because we're playing on
Oh,
Thursday.
damn.
We're playing Thursday against Sheffield United, so we've got Sunday against Everton.
Oh,
So you'll be
I didn't realize the game against Sheffield was Thursday. Okay, damn. Okay, yeah. So then Everton would be the so what's the date for the Sheffield United game? Is that
the
the
second. The
the
thing
second?
is
Okay.
right. The thing is right. In England, you got all the games obviously played on Boxing Day. But what they did was we had 9 games on Boxing Day, and they had a game after that, didn't they? Against Wolves versus City. And this time they're putting all the games on New Year's Day. So 9 games on New Year's Day, and they're gonna have one after that, just like the Wolves City game. They're gonna have one after that, which is gonna be Liverpool Sheffield.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like that's what everybody's saying about the Millamino playing Minamino playing against Everton in that game. Be nice to see him making his debut against Everton, just like another guy in our defense who
Yeah, I
scored the
like
winner.
the FA Cup. I like the FA Cup is a much more prestigious trophy than the League Cup, and with us obviously already having the Premier League wrapped up, I think we need to try and go for the FA Cup, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's annoying that it's Everton. I mean, obviously, I think we'll beat them anyway, but it's annoying that we, for once, can we just for once get an easy.
I know. I mean, listen. I think.
Can we get a Port Vale like Pep Guardiola?
Yeah. I mean, right. Yeah, that'll never happen. I think. Although it was nice to see them get someone easier than they usually get in the Champions League, but I think part of
Hmm.
and this is totally just conspiracy theories here for me,
Hmm.
but I think part of Ancelotti's move to Everton was because I think him and Klopp are developing this. I don't want to say it's a rivalry or anything like that, but you can tell these two teams really like getting at each other, and these two managers respect each other. And I think seeing Everton Liverpool again could be exciting again. Not saying that they're going to start get wins over us because I still think we're a superior team,
It's
and a
gonna be more,
manager change is not going to make that difference. But those games are going to be really exciting. Watch,
yeah, it's gonna be more competitive as well.
yeah,
I'm not saying
because
it's
those
that.
you could those do. I mean, I was watching Holgate today. These guys are really, sometimes it's a manager bounce, but it's also the name of the manager. And you can tell these dudes are like, okay, this is Ancelotti, man. I got to really step my game up. And which is unfortunate because you're a professional football player, you should be stepping your game up anyway. But you can tell some of these dudes who've been bums all season, just their work rate today, doing the extra, fighting a little bit more. You can tell they were playing for this dude. So if nothing else, he'll have them playing harder. A winning brand of football, I don't know in the long run. But yeah.
Calvert-Lewin's on fire.
Say again? I know.
Calvert-Lewin.
And who would have imagined that? So, sometimes all it takes is that one special manager like we have. And some of these players that we have, we'll never probably get to know, or maybe when they move on. But it's hard for me to really guess if they'd be having such great careers right now if they weren't under Klopp. So,
Well, at least that clown Duncan Ferguson's taking it back in that seat because he was
is
just
he
embarrassed.
assistant coach now?
Yeah,
Like assistant.
he was just
Okay.
embarrassed. I mean, taking his blazer off in the rain and you know,
With the wristbands.
yeah, the wristbands. It's just really sort of what's the word?
But
Cringe.
I mean, but even him, you got to admit, like even under him, they seem to be playing a little bit better.
Yeah. This is what players are like, isn't it? This is what players are like. They're
It's
playing.
weird, man.
This is what players are like. They don't. You can see that they're not performing.
Yeah.
They weren't performing on Marcus Silva, and they had a nice little bounce against Chelsea United, and they were awful against Arsenal on the Ferguson's last game. So do you know what I mean? This is what players are like, man. Let's see how he does, how Ancelotti does with him um, over the course of the season. Because right now, I'm not really taking too much into it against Burnley at home and Newcastle away with a new manager bounce, sort of thing. I'm just sort of waiting to see what he does over the course of this season and next season. So that's going to be interesting. But he's got his next game's City away as well. So
Oh
um,
wow. Yeah.
yes, and see how he sets them up.
Yeah, we definitely haven't seen the end of City losing. It's just so great. It's just so good to see us doing so
This,
well, and then not.
this is one thing as well. I mean, I don't know if I can find a tweet, but first of all, when we pushed City to the title last year, when we finished second last year, we pushed them right to the edge and we really made it difficult for them. What have they done this season where they've tried to
Yep.
push us? They've just absolutely collapsed. And there's
Yep.
not enough questions asked of Guardiola. There's not enough questions asked of him. And he's given up now. He's given up and said
Oh yeah.
that it's just too big. And he said that the title race is over. It's forget mind games. There's no such thing as mind games anymore. It's facts,
No.
mate. The title race has been over since we beat them at Anfield. The title race was over. Because I just couldn't see them doing anything. They've looked poor all season, looked shaky all season. They finally forget and Laporte is going on like he's God. He's going on like
I know.
he's a god of Manchester City. He's a good defender, but come on, he spent enough money. It was his fault when he replaced company and he didn't sign them. And he didn't sign the
Yep.
replacement.
Cocky. Too
It was
cocky.
it was his sort of it was his decision because company won them the title last year with that goal against Leicester, and he won them a lot of points because of his leadership down the end of the season. A
Hmm.
lot of points, and he pushed them through with his experience. So as I said, don't feel sorry for him. Don't feel he
Not at
needs
all.
defenders. I don't understand. Honestly, I don't understand. Um, so that we're gonna have to just wait and see what happens with him. Is he gonna stay at City? Is he not? I'm not sure. But the thing is, with Guardiola as well, you look at in the summer, and I said I'll bring this up because I don't know if you remember me tweeting in the summer saying, arguing with some Liverpool fans saying people giving. I've got if I can find the tweets here, that would be absolutely brilliant. I don't know if I can find them, but what I was saying in the summer was people were saying, "Oh, you know what? Let's just go for number 7 because I can't see us winning the league." You know what I mean? We didn't make any signings. People just all forgetting how good this team actually was. 97 points Champions League. People saying, "Oh, we're standing still." I mean, what were you thinking in the summer? Because I can't really remember what you were thinking, but because I was too busy arguing with Liverpool fans because you remember how toxic Twitter was. But what were you sort of thinking in summer with the transfers?
Yeah, I wasn't tripping, honestly. And I think at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is I'm done with doubting this team when they make decisions like that. I just feel like they've proved us wrong so many times, whether it be with lineups, with not getting players, with whatever. And so I trusted it. And what it said to me was Klopp was like, these boys have gotten us to a very, very high level. And if Liverpool fans could just be patient and realize that you haven't seen a lot of people, in our generation, we haven't seen Liverpool ever be this good. So I think Klopp was saying to us, the ones who may have been doubting, the younger generation, is like, look, chill. Look what this team did. Imagine what we can do with another season with some of these dudes like Naby coming back, Ox coming back. We're good. Relax. I'm gonna have a prize for you in January. And here's the prize. So I wasn't worried, and I just thought this team has been so battle tested, and it's like every time we drop from something, whether it be the Kiev thing, and then we come back again, and win it, and come a point away from the league. I just felt like it wasn't such a huge issue that we didn't go for any first team play. Yeah, we got some of the youth guys and stuff like that, but I didn't think it was a big deal. And I'm just so glad that it's come to fruition and it's proven to people who may have doubted it. I think we all as supporters love a nice shiny new signing, right? Everyone loves that to get them integrated and all that. But that's the other thing. It takes time to get in this system that Klopp plays, and I think people forget this. Some teams, yeah, you can bring a guy in, and you see a lot of guys. They're probably really good, but their first season isn't great because it's hard to really get certain dudes integrated so quickly. This English league it's a beast, and some people just aren't fit for it, not in the first season. So I thought it was actually a genius move, and you're seeing now why he did it. Is keeping the team together, and then next summer we'll just be patient, wait till next summer, and that's when we'll get probably more players. But yeah, I always thought it was a good idea, to be honest. I wasn't disappointed at all.
And while you were saying that, I was just looking for a conversation I had in the summer. With someone. There's plenty of them. I've had so many, and people have blocked me for this in the summer. I don't know if they're blocking me now.
I love it. I love it.
And this guy's called Jack Moore. I don't know, and he's verified. He's got 22K followers. So I must have said to him. He says, He says, this is the 27th of July, 2019, and the time is 11:32 in the morning. I'm saying everything, all right. And he says, well, it appears this season will be about waiting for Pep to fuck off. Might as well get number 7 while we're at it, but there's no way in hell we're winning the league as it stands.
Wow. Right? Wow. I wonder what he's saying now.
Yeah. He hasn't tweeted since November the 2nd.
Oh, wow.
So I say to him, on the same time, I say, let's write it. So I'm like, yeah, let's write the season off before it's kicked off. Absolute joke. And he says to me, I prefer to call it managing expectations with question mark with speech marks. So that's managing expectations. So I say to him, City have bought Rodri and lost company. That's it. They also signed Cancelo on top of that. Don't forget at that point. I'm like, we haven't done anything, nothing massive. And he says to me, the problem is one extended period without one of the front three and it derails our season. Which is, as I said, who said? And what I said was, who said they're going to be injured? All if buts and maybes. And he says, well, why gamble? We were lucky last year with them, but it may not happen again. So I was like, I want signings in this team. Don't get me wrong. Whatever happens, we still have a brilliant team. And people were sort of forgetting that. They were thinking it's oh, that's it. We haven't got cover front three. We haven't got this. We haven't got that. And the cover's there. Origi has won us points again this season. Shaqiri's and showed his worth. People still don't understand that. They just want big names after big names. Where have these big names gone?
Or just I don't even know if it's big. I just think it's signing for the sake of signings. I mean, because there's the idea that if you don't quote unquote get better or retool, then you're not doing a good job. Like people got at Spurs that season where they didn't make any changes and they still had a decent season. So,
They
again,
got
it's just yeah. So I mean, it's just that's a bit of an overrated
people
thing
saying
now.
people were saying, oh, second place. The Spurs got second. Spurs are going to get second place. We're going to finish third. Do you remember that? Those sort of
Oh yeah,
comments.
yeah,
And
yeah.
this one,
Again, it's just great to see Liverpool proving not only some of our supporters wrong, but just the football world in general. And back to Pep real quick.
part of me just thinks some of these fans just don't deserve to celebrate after the shit they were talking in the summer.
I know.
It just
Um,
annoys me how
yeah,
much.
I totally get um, the kind of I don't know pessimistic view from some people. I understand it's been so long, but once you start seeing what this team is doing and what we have done, I just don't know how. I mean, there's still people on Twitter saying, and it's fine, it is what it is, but saying like it's not over. That's cool, or still having doubts when lineups come out. But to each his own. I just feel like it's definitely done. This particular team, maybe teams of the past could bottle it, whatever. Maybe team last season could bottle it, which in a way you could say we did. But this team is not. I mean, I don't care if it was 8 points. The fact that it's whatever it is now, 10, and then I mean I don't know if it's 14 from City, whatever it is. This team is going to keep going. But back to Pep real quick. I'm not a fan of Pep. I think most people know that, but I don't want to believe that he's a quitter. So I think he'll come back, buy a bunch of players, make sure he gets a center back this time to back up anybody who gets injured. And look, they might come back and win it next season. But what you can't take away from Liverpool is this season, this year, is going to be far better than what City accomplished in that 100-point season. Not even on just I think we'll at least get that, if not more. But also just how we did it. How we were able to just push teams to the side. And then again, there's still that invincible factor. So as impressive as that City situation was, or you can say, but the back-to-back, I think this Liverpool season, I think trumps that.
And
Everything we've gone through.
And we've proven that we can actually win the Champions League and do well in Europe.
Yeah, so that to me, it trumps anything City has done. They won't let that be known, but that's the truth to me.
Definitely.
So
that's the thing. I mean, listen, Pep Guardiola is coming to the team. Don't know if I can find the tweet, but there was a tweet where it just showed the starting 11s of the first game that you're gonna have to give me a bit of time here. Let me see if I can find. I don't think I can.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, it was a tweet where it just said, it was comparing. I can actually just remember it myself. Actually, I remember it in my head. I remember the team. So he had. I don't need to see it. So it was in goal. So this was against Sunderland at home. His first game in the 2016-17 season, right? And this was him having. He had transfer window. So in that year, he signed. Who did he sign? Stones, Nolito. Who else? He signed so many players that window as well. Gundogan. A lot more. I just can't. Johnson. Who else did he sign? I'm pretty sure he signed a few more. Claudio Bravo. I remember he signed Jesus as well that summer. I'm probably missing a few more that he signed. But that first game against Sunderland at home, and people were saying, that year before where you came in, City finished fourth. That was City underachieving. It wasn't them just having a poor squad. That City team won the title a couple of years before that, and they won the title again in 2012. They won the title in 2014. So 2 years before Guardiola got sacked, they won the title in 2014. Not Guardiola, sorry, Pellegrini. In 2014, they won the Premier League title. In 2016, Guardiola comes in the team. So that's 2 years. I mean, we're talking about Liverpool not winning a trophy in about winning one League Cup in about 10 years when Klopp came. So he comes into that. So he comes into it with Bravo in goal. No, Caballero in goal because Bravo hadn't signed yet. But Caballero in goal. Right back, he has Zabaleta, I think, or Sanya, one of those two. Centre backs, he had John Stones and Kolarov, but don't remember that he also inherited Vincent Kompany. Left back, he had Gael Clichy. In midfield, Fernandinho and David Silva. He also had Yaya Toure, who was a brilliant player, but he didn't use him enough. But he was still a fantastic player, Yaya Toure. David Silva and Fernandinho still playing in his team. He had Raheem Sterling, who's still in his team. Kevin De Bruyne, who's still in his team. He had Nolito on the left. That's obviously left. And looking at their 6 players already that was still in the team, and that they're still here playing week in, week out. And listen, he's improved them, definitely. He's definitely improved them as players. Absolutely, yes. But
Yeah,
what he spent and what Klopp took in, it's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Now switch the roles. Klopp, well, Klein at right back, Skirtle and Kolo Toure, left back Alberto Moreno, in midfield Chan and Lucas Leiva, and he had Milner right wing, Lallana,
oh my god.
a very inconsistent Daniel Sturridge with the injuries, a very poor Firmino who hadn't scored in about 4 months when he first came into the Premier League, and Coutinho who was a good player but he wasn't at his peak level yet, and he walked into that. Now I'm gonna say switch roles from City. Say Klopp and Guardiola did the opposite roles. Now tell me, would Pep Guardiola be able to do what Jurgen Klopp did with those say similar funds? And let me give you one more stat. Jake Humphrey said it. He's some BBC, he's some BT, some reporter here for a presenter here for the Premier League football. He said that Eddie Howe's been getting a lot of saying, oh, that Bournemouth, he's doing a great job there. But since he came into the Premier League in 2015, Bournemouth have a higher net spend than Liverpool. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that
Tell me,
puts a lot of perspective.
can Guardiola do that sort of job that Klopp did? Can he with those resources? No. The answer is no. When has he ever
Yeah,
gone to a job? When has he ever gone to a job, right? When there's a huge challenge on. Mikel Arteta's assistant's already taken a bigger challenge than Guardiola's ever taken in his managerial career. Mikel Arteta's assistant. Arsenal's such a big job to take on, and he's taken it. Guardiola never gone to a job where he can rebuild a team and really sort of. He went to Barcelona, right, with all those fantastic players. And don't get me wrong, he is still a brilliant manager, but he's not what people think he is. He relies on money. He relies on inheriting a lot of fantastic players. In Europe, he's done absolutely nothing for Bayern Munich and the City. He got embarrassed by Spurs, and I will say he got embarrassed. I will say he got embarrassed because it may have been on away goals, but I will say he got embarrassed because with the team he's had and the amount of money Pochettino spent, it's embarrassing. Liverpool, they were still a top 14 then that season. We still finished fourth, beaten by us, absolutely battered. The year before, Monaco absolutely slapped them up. If you go now to Bayern, Atletico Madrid beat them in the semi-finals, schooled them. The year before, he gets battered 4-0 at home by Real Madrid. I can't remember what happened. I know, and the year before that, Barcelona absolutely scored them as well, didn't it? Was it? Didn't Barcelona batter them 3-0 the new camp?
I think so. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
and this is what I mean. What is he actually? When was the last time he got to a Champions League final? 2011, the last time he actually won it. So I don't want people calling him the GOAT and all these sorts of things because he's not. That's it. He's not.
Yeah, and it's simple as that. And I think you're seeing a man just wounded right now. In his post match with the water bottle on the side. I mean, you just see a dude he's just defeated. And as he said, they're so used to dominating and being so great and not really having a team that really, even though last season should have given them more than a bit of a warning that Liverpool weren't going anywhere. But here we are, and he's saying that it's real. So I think everything he was saying in the Prime the video Amazon Prime thing about him being pretty much shook when it came to Liverpool was true.
We watching
And
it. We watching that. Was Amazon Prime available for you too?
say that one more time.
Was Amazon Prime available for you too as well?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
was
yeah,
it? All right.
definitely.
I thought it was just a UK thing you told me.
Oh no, well the documentary was available for us, but as far as the
Oh,
Premier League games,
my bad.
the Premier League games aren't on Amazon Prime here, but
Oh,
the documentaries they're always on there. Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah. I've seen the documentary. I've seen him.
yeah, but no, man, it's just good to see this team doing what they're doing,
And
and that other team not.
if you think about it and look at it, you think, oh, if we had pipped him to that title last season, right? Um, it was one point. And just imagine we and I don't know if Bus and maybe is all that. I shouldn't be saying this, but can you imagine if we actually won that league title last year and we won it again this year? You're looking at a manager that's won a league title in 4 years, one league title in 4 years with the amount of money he spent. And even for him now with everything he's had, for him to be embarrassed this season, absolutely destroyed by us, he should
Hmm.
be. he should be hung to shame. But he's not. People are saying that he needs more signings. Owen Hargreaves is saying that Laporte has been a big miss for them. As I said, and Laporte and Sane has been a big miss. People are saying, oh, what about Van Dijk and Mane got injured? But listen, we haven't got money to spend in a backup like they have Raheem Sterling on the left. We haven't got that sort of backup. Sane was backup to start to Sterling all year, so don't give me that. He was literally sitting on the bench all season, and Sane. Yeah, and they got Mahrez on that side. They got Bernardo Silva on that side as well. Aguero, Jesus. They got so many players that can replace him, and there's too many excuses that can be made for him. Laporte, it wasn't. I don't care about Laporte. He's not someone that's. He's not a god in that defense. He's a good defender, but he's not something special. He's not. What I mean. If you compare him to Van Dijk, he's none of that. He let Vincent Company go in the summer, and he didn't replace him. Whose fault is that? It's his arrogance fault that thinks that he can play Fernandinho in defence with Otamendi and still get away with it. It's not my problem. But people said, "Oh no, it's all right," because I said, if you get one injury to the port, that's it. They're finished. You know what I mean? And as I said, look, it's coming to be true. But they still had this defensive problems, even with Laporte. They were still conceding goals with him. Remember the Champions League against City, Tottenham, conceding goals. They've always had defensive problems, City, but teams are too scared to exploit them. They didn't even
just take the game to them. Yeah, simple as that.
And that was happening in the 2017-18 season. We exploited their defensive issues all that time in the 2017-18 season. Man United exploited it. Anytime teams had to go at them, they'd crumble because Guardiola teams under Manchester City have never been incredible defensively. All they do is just keep possession a lot, which teams would just sit back and let that happen. And we've had injuries. Alisson was out for 8 weeks. Fabinho's been out for a month. He's going to be out for more. Matip's been out for 2 months. Lovren's been out for a long time. Now he's going to be out for a month or so, and he's had a few injuries here and there. Oxlade-Chamberlain's going to be out for a while. Kate has been out for about 2 or 3 months. Salah's had a niggling injury, which meant we'd had to bench him a couple of times. So many excuses are made for this manager, and I don't understand why. Honestly, I don't understand why, but at least I got that out of me because I'm just listening to pundits just protect him for some reason, like he's innocent. That's what I mean. People just think he's innocent.
Yeah, I mean it's a beautiful thing, man. And no matter if the people on social media or the news media in general never want to come clean with this idea that he isn't a GOAT, that's fine. I mean, we all know, we all see it. We watch football every week, so. We know what it is, and at the end of the day, just really, I mean, it couldn't have been better to win it like this. It'd been good if it was neck and neck, and it was us and City to the final. That'd have been great too. But to do it like this in total domination style, it couldn't get any better. And the City, they're just totally crumbling on that side. Give me injury excuses or whatever. The fact that they're totally just struggling right now it's just beautiful to see. And part of me had a really, really nice laugh when I saw their keeper get sent off. It had a flashback to Mane and the high boot on that same dude. And I remember all the things people said about Mane and all that. The goalkeeper's had a brain fart there. I don't know what he's doing coming out there and making contact with the player like that. But that was just such a good moment for me. And once that happened, I thought, okay, Wolves can get this, and they finally ended up getting it. But yeah, just to wrap it off, man. I don't know if we gave score predictions on this last time we spoke, but just to refresh my memory, what is your predictions for the game tomorrow against Wolverhampton?
I said 2-0, but I'm gonna change that. 3-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. I think 2-0 is definitely something I would be cool with. I just want the win. I know you do, and most of us do. But I see another smacking, and unfortunately, I see a situation where possibly. I'd love to be wrong about this, but possibly where we waste a couple of chances and then kind of get into the game. I think Liverpool are just at a point now where they're pretty much, while they're playing, they're pretty much telling us, just chill, relax, we got this. We might miss some chances. We're kind of just coasting right now, and when we really need to turn it on, we'll do that. So yeah, I see 3-0. And again, as I talked about with the way they set up, I think the outsides, the widths, I think. Is where we're really going to be able to hit them. So, yeah, 3-0 works for me. Go ahead.
Will Wolves rest players, though? I think they have to rest players. I mean, you can't play in about 40, have a quick turnaround from, 40 hours, and play the same 11. I think they're going to have to make quite a few changes, in my opinion.
And our team?
No, in their team, because they've got that.
For Wolves, yeah.
Yeah, or turnaround. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, maybe. Either way, I just think, and I always say this, but and maybe I need to change it now because Liverpool, they've gone even up another notch, which is really scary, and the beast that this team, this manager Klopp has created. But I was saying before all these games, and I thought it was really true that these teams are going to give us our best. I mean, give us their best shot and play their best. Obviously, Leicester, if that was their best, then that's a shame. But I do think Wolves are on a real high right now, and I think they'll be coming to Anfield thinking that they can get something out of this game. I really believe that, and it's really up to us to make sure that that idea, those thoughts, are quickly zapped out of them. And I mean early in that first half. So I would love to see us jump out early and get those
yeah,
goals. This
yeah.
isn't a team now where you think, oh, if we score too early, we'll self-destruct. I'm so glad this isn't a team anymore. But I think that would be our best bet. And then maybe seeing some of these guys come off the bench who we've spoken about who haven't been playing or whatever the case may be. So it should be fun, man. I can't wait for the game.
And as you said,
Probably say again.
yeah, go on, go on.
Yeah. I just can't wait for the game. Go ahead. You can say.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's the last game of 2019, and it's at Anfield, and I want us to put
Oh, I mean, good point.
it's under the lights, as well. We're about, I don't know, I've lost count of how many points we're clear. We're gonna win the title. Let's just say that, and I want us to just go into 2020 with a bang and get the 3 points. I want the fans to be up for it. We're up. It's a 4:30 kickoff, obviously, as is them, but it's going to be under the lights at Anfield. And I want us to just go for it and really, really put on a show again. And I'm not in this sort of position saying, oh yeah, it doesn't matter if we drop points, a couple of points somewhere along the way. I'm in a sort of position where I'm like, no, I want to win every single game, and I want to break every single record. You know what I mean? I want this win as much as I wanted a win against City at home. I just want to win every single game. And the manager and the players have all put us fans as well in that sort of mentality where we want to break every single record and we want to, win every game and we want to be invincibles and we want to break the amount of total the City's the 100 points total. And we want to be the best Premier League side that we've ever the league's ever seen, and that's what I want to see from us because I do believe that by the end of the season, this team could definitely be invincible. We could have over 100 points, and we could be treble winners. We could win the Champions League as well with the FA Cup. We can win everything, along with the Super Cup we won, along with the FIFA Club World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And this team, I think for me, is on the way currently. If we continue how we continue this, if how we started the first half of the season, if we continue if we bring that into the second half of the season, I think this team will be the greatest team that the Premier League's ever seen.
Yeah, no, I agree. And just saying that and knowing that that is a true fact that actually could come true at the end of the season is crazy, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, when you think about it, you think when you think about when Arsenal talk about invincible, you think, oh, those glory days. I wish we had them back. Those glory days of Fergie. I wish we had them back. We're living them right. We're living it. We're living ours right now. But it's different when you're in such a bad moment. You think, oh, it'd be so good to be in them. But when you're in this moment, it's like it feels weird. It doesn't feel like that you're actually there. But when we look back on this, maybe 10 years later, we'll think, wow, these were incredible, incredible times, and probably the best teams that the Liverpool, one of the best teams, maybe the best. You never know. Probably, if we, as I said, if we continue this way into the second half season, this could be the greatest Liverpool team that we've ever seen over the history of the football club. So it's a massive second half of the season for Liverpool, and I just can't wait. To be honest with you, I'm really looking forward to April, May time. Really looking forward to us just finally being able to lift it and enjoy these sort of moments. And who knows, we might have a Champions League to lift, and Champions League and FA Cup as well to celebrate with it as well.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. It's looking like a beautiful season so far. And I think there's so much to come, and that's what I just look forward to every time watching this team. Showing me something new, showing us things that we already know. And it's just beautiful. Again, we've talked about it before, but when you see a guy like Firmino, who, some aspects of the fan base, we're talking about him struggling, things like that, for him to just turn it back on like this. And again, I just think,
We've been incredible.
we've gotten like a second win almost. And it's just crazy because the way we've been winning games hasn't always been beautiful, but we've come through. And again, I just feel like this is a turning point, man, where we're really going to just start putting, especially with City just totally just out of it. obviously what we did to Leicester, that's they're never going to catch up to us. So I just think Liverpool are really going to be showing off now, and to
Yeah,
finish the season off and just smashing teams like this is going to be great.
yeah,
And people were right because we are definitely going to be unbearable. Some of us might be unbearable now, but we win this league the way I think we're going to win it, man. And that's the thing. If Pep comes, I don't see this happening. I just think Liverpool is just going to be going strength to strength from now on. As long as Klopp is there, bro, we can win 3 or 4 titles, to be honest. But I think even if City do come back next season or whoever, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less. I wanted to get this Prem. We got it in the fashion that we're looking like we're going to get it. I couldn't care less what happens next season.
they're gonna
But
dominate the league, mate.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. In any event that it didn't, I'd be fine with it. But no, since Klopp has been there, the fact that he's going to be there for, was it 4 or 5 more seasons, whatever it is, I just feel like we're really going to dominate, and I really can't wait to see it. So, yeah, looking forward to the game tomorrow. Gonna probably be a yeah. Go ahead.
Quickly, I just want to say one more thing. It's the December period that we've that's really like cut the points cap. It's doubled league.
Yeah.
Because we won every single Premier League game in December. We said this last December. We've won every game again in December. We've been incredible. In December, we always seem to hit new heights, and we didn't. I think we remember. I think me and you said this in the November time, that December. Last year we had a great December, scoring loads of goals, and it's all been a similar one. 4 goals away at Leicester. A couple goals against Watford. 3 goals away at Bournemouth. 5 against Everton. And yeah, that's it in December. So it's been a fantastic December. Loads of goals, clean sheets, and again, it's still December where we always seem to hit that new sort of level when we go up a year, and we're seeing that now. So yeah, that's it. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, man. Looking forward to it, and we'll definitely get back on, I'm sure, after a great performance and win tomorrow after the game. But yeah,
Definitely
it's Wolverhampton against Liverpool at Anfield. Can't wait. Talk to you soon, bro.
Yeah, come on, up the Reds. Hopefully, get 3 points tomorrow.
Yes.